Coming to you from Scenic the Basement at ICN Studios in Brooklyn, I'm Jana Jefferson, and this is And Friends with Jana Jefferson. Every other week, me and a new guest host. Each time we're going to discuss the latest in pop culture, the industry, life, and much more. And we don't have a guest today because it's a very special episode. This is the 1 year anniversary of And Friends podcast. It's wild. Crazy. I cannot believe that it's just 1 year ago this baby was born, and it's gotten so much love from its listeners, whoever is out here actually listening to the podcast. I mean, we have listeners. We have good amount of listens every single episode. It's just amazing. And it just so happens that the first episode that we ever filmed, it was exactly 1 year ago today, even to like the day of the week. It's Tuesday, September 4th, and it just so happens it's Beyonce's birthday today, and it's also the 25th episode of the show. So there's just so many milestones that we've hit for today, and it's just a blessing. So I want to thank you guys so much for listening to the show and enjoying it and giving me such positive feedback. I really, really appreciate it. So really fast, before we jump into the retrospect, I want to let you guys know a little bit about the stats of this show. It's been going on now for 365 days. And we have exactly, as of right now, 6:37 p.m. on Beyonce's birthday, 2018, 4,000 listens for the show. Crazy. Look at Brandon. Brandon, our illustrious producer, is just standing there smiling like a proud dad. And it's just so cool. Like, I honestly didn't expect this. I just wanted to do something fun and to see how far I could go with just like having my creativity fly and run wild. And here we are, and it's given me so many cool opportunities, and a lot of people have been able to not only listen to me, but they've been reading my writing a lot too, which is awesome. With all things, you never know when it's gonna come to an end, but I'm having fun. I'm not saying that like the show's gonna end anytime soon, so like don't worry about it. But you never know. There's growth, and this is like an amazing thing that I've gotten to do, and I'm so grateful to Wise and the Indie Creative Network for giving me this platform. And we've been having so much fun, and I am excited to see what the future holds for And Friends. So, of course, before the show starts and before we do our little retrospect, I want to give my Beyonce mood of the day, because we're not gonna. That would be sacrilegious to have the Beyonce mood of the day not happen on Beyonce's birthday. So I think that my Beyonce mood of the day today is Gift from Virgo. And I say that because it's Beyonce's birthday and she's Virgo. So Gift from Virgo is definitely the Beyonce mood of the day today. As you know, there is a Beyonce Mood of the Day Spotify playlist. You go to Spotify, search Beyonce Mood of the Day, and of course follow it. And each song mentioned by myself and my friends to start off the show have been and will be added to the playlist after each episode, so you can stay up to date on your Beyonce discography. So, for this very special episode, I took the liberty upon myself to listen to every single episode that I've done again by myself, just to see what some of the top topics of conversation have been. So I narrowed it down to 4 really big ones, and we're going to run down them. I'm going to, thanks to Brandon and thanks to my no life-ishness, I was able to narrow down a lot of clips from different episodes in the past. So we're going to go through the sections. We're going to have retrospective clips from certain episodes about the certain topics that I talk about a lot. And then we'll just, take a trip down memory lane, and it'll be super cute. So one of the topics that I talk about a lot, it's no secret, I'm from New Jersey. I've discussed it a couple times on the show. But I've also discussed the validity and technicalities of Central New Jersey, where I'm from. So this clip from Thought Season with Mr. Dulé, we discussed Central Jersey and its validity and its whereabouts. And then we also have a clip from Jersey Strong with Miss Felicia George, where we talk about how South Jersey is like not even a thing, and it's really weird, and it's just like the strangest place ever. So enjoy these short clips about New Jersey, Central Jersey, South Jersey, North Jersey, and all the great things that the Garden State has to offer.
Because I don't know. It's that whole making a fake account.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
when people have like Finstas, like fake stupidness. It's like, that's a lot of effort to just like, that's how that one girl from University of Alabama got in trouble, because she was tweeting about, she did a Finsta page talking about how much she hates black people, and she's like, but I love my sorority, like no one's gonna F with my sorority, I hate N-words, like yada, and she got expelled from the school because of her Finsta. Dang. And I'm like, well, that's what you get, girl. Yeah. She was from South Jersey. People are gonna find.
Oh wow, South Jersey.
Yeah, she was from South Jersey.
Good old South Jersey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm down there though. So it's wow. It's certain places down there is very different. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jersey is. I don't know. Just sometimes it feels like it's two different states, which is
yes.
But the crazy part about it is though, is like each side has its perks though. Mm-hmm. But you're not going to tell anybody from South Jersey that North Jersey is better than South Jersey.
Where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Highland Park.
Oh, I know where that is.
Yeah, right by New Brunswick, which is Central Jersey, which
yes!
There we go. But
say it again.
Central Jersey,
Thank
which
you.
is a thing.
Because every time I try to talk to somebody, they're like, Central Jersey is like not. I'm like, no, it is, because we're in the literal center. You know, my friend has a very good point. When anyone tries to tell you that Central Jersey doesn't exist, well, maybe this is just our town, but our town has a Wawa across from a Quick Check. That's Central Jersey.
That is.
We have both.
Exactly. Yeah. It's either you got to pick one or the other. Either you're going to go up there and get a Quick Check, or you're going to go down there and get a Wawa. But the thing I definitely respected at Central Jersey is because when I used to play high school sports, they were broken up into 3 regions. It was Central Jersey, Central Jersey Group 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, how is
anyone telling us that like it doesn't exist?
Yeah. The weirdest part about Jersey, I feel like, though, is like, all right, I feel like if you're from the northern part of Jersey, you feel like Trenton is South Jersey. But Trenton really isn't that much of South Jersey, if you think about it. Because you have to drive like an hour and a half to get to like Glassboro and like...
Yeah, Glassboro. Oh my God.
Exactly. Atlantic City.
Atlantic City is, south.
Yeah.
I used to think that Trenton was south.
That's what I thought.
But then I was like, I looked at a map. And
That's the thing.
It's in, Mercer? And Mercer's in the center.
Once you look at a map of Jersey, like, yo, wait, that's there? Like, that's not that far. It's like, if you look at the drive, because I'm accustomed to the New Brunswick to Trenton drive, and I look at a map and I'm like, yo, that's that close?
Yeah.
Because it's not, especially because if you go from like New Brunswick to like Atlantic City,
yeah, that's a drive.
That shows you how much of a different gap there is between like that Trenton area and that actual South Jersey. Like, but yeah, I'm getting real accustomed to that area now. I'm just not. I feel like the only place I'm really not accustomed to is the actual South Jersey.
Like Cape May.
Yeah,
that's very far.
Yeah, I don't
think I've ever been to Cape May.
She has like a wood tattooed on her with a maple leaf.
Oh,
yeah.
See, I was actually talking about this the other day. Like, Jersey pride, I feel like
outstanding.
It's like when people have it, it's like yes. But I don't know. Maybe it's just my town. There's people who love my town. I am not one of them. It just hasn't historically, like in the life of Jana Jefferson. It just like my town has not offered me much.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not crazy about my town, but I'll go to blows with anybody who disrespects New Jersey. Right. Any time of the day.
Jersey is amazing.
Like, do not disrespect my state.
Jersey's outstanding.
Only I can disrespect my state when it's done
say
me
Jersey
wrong.
gets on my nerves, but no one else
No
can.
one else can.
Yeah.
No one else can. And I was also thinking about, like, there's people who are from, like, if you're talking about someone who's from, like, Atlanta, you know, like, what they're like. If someone's from, like, New York, you know what they're like.
Yeah.
Like, from New Jersey, like, we don't have, like, an identity, really.
Yeah.
We're just kind of all over the place.
We are. We're outstanding.
You know, in New Jersey, when you have a New Jersey person, you get straightforward, like, no nonsense.
Yeah.
Like, we tell it like it is. I think that's like an identifier of New Jersey.
Yeah.
Like, we don't hold anything back. I
We're
think that would
great.
be like the number one thing. And we don't pump our gas.
Right. Which makes us even better.
It's even better. Have you ever pumped your own gas?
no.
Oh, it's actually kind of exhilarating.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I pumped my own gas when I went to visit my friend in Rhode Island. And right before I left, I actually drove like close to like not Boston, but like near Massachusetts because their gas was cheaper. And it was actually kind of fun. I was like, wow, like this is pretty cool. Like
Yeah,
you
I've
just like type it into the like machine, the gas machine. is that a name?
We don't even know the term.
We don't even know, but I like
Hashtag
I
Jersey.
typed in the gas machine, like how much I was paying, and then you just put the nozzle in, and then you like hold it, and then the gas is going in.
Wow.
It's like actually pretty
My dad
cool.
will get out of the car and pump his own gas in Jersey.
There's some times where I feel like I need to because the attendants are kind
take
of like
long.
they're kind of slow, and
Yeah.
sometimes they're just downright mean.
Yeah.
I'm no longer going to the BP near my house. Like I will go out of the way to not go there because they are so disrespectful. Every time I go there, they give me such an attitude. I'm like, I didn't have to come here. I only came here because BP is like always mad cheap.
Yeah, it is.
But no, I'm not going to that one anymore. What else about New Jersey is pretty cool?
I think Jersey's really artistic.
I haven't seen it in my area.
Really? Okay, maybe it's just my area.
Because
Maybe
you're
it's
like
just
more
where I'm
like
at.
North Jersey.
Yeah.
I think North Jersey, because I'm going to say it, I'm in Central Jersey because Central Jersey exists. It does, Felicia. Felicia.
I don't know. I don't know
No,
if South
like,
Jersey or Central Jersey exists
South
in real
Jersey
life.
is so different. South Jersey is
South
all
Jersey's
farms.
a different state.
It's farms. They call sprinkles jimmies.
Whoa. They're in a different state, a different
Jimmies.
time.
And like it's so weird because Central Jersey, where I am from, because it's a thing, we can go for either North team, like New York teams, or like Philly teams. You can choose either one. It's really weird.
Yeah, you
like
guys
I went,
are like Philly.
mm-mm.
No?
I'm. If you're holding a map of the state, I'm like here.
Okay.
So New York is like there.
There, yeah.
So I don't like sports like that, but if I was to choose, I would choose New York teams because that's like what we grew up knowing. But then I went to school. I thought my school was more south. Turns out it technically is still central, but they're all Philly teams. Like everyone was obsessed with the Phillies and the Flyers. And I'm like, this is so bizarre because I've never experienced South or Philadelphia teams.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, yeah, Phillies, Flyers. I'm like, what?
South Jersey is Philly.
It really is.
Yeah, it's Philly.
And they have, their accents. Have you ever heard of South Jersey accents?
They sound like, to me, they sound like they're from South Carolina. They sound
it's just so
country.
weird. They say things with a shortened O. So instead of home, they're like whom. It's like bizarre.
They're from a different state.
They say like I will never forget this. I was a freshman in college and I was taking a shower in the community bathrooms and I used Dove soap. And the girl, she was from South Jersey. I ended up actually being her friend later in the year. She was from South Jersey and she was like, "Is that Dove soap?" And I'm like, "Excuse me?"
That what?
She's like,
What?
"Are you using Dove soap?" And I'm like, "You mean Dove soap?" And she's like, "Yeah, it smells really good." I'm like, "Yeah, it's Dove. Thanks." But yeah, she had the thickest South Jersey accent.
Wow.
I think it's more like a Philly kind of thing. I feel like Philly people
Yeah.
talk like that.
I don't know, but they're from somewhere else.
South Jersey is its own planet.
They are not
Like-
New Jersey. I can't claim them.
Jimmy's.
Yeah.
Jimmy's.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's not a
I
Jimmy.
don't know what a Jimmy is. Except for a
Apparently-
name.
Yep. It's not a sprinkle. It's,
Right. It's
not
someone's
a
name.
sprinkle. So then the next segment that I've discussed a couple times in the past is my disdain for one Aubrey Drake Graham. You know, I've mentioned it now a lot of times on the show because I'm not hiding it. I'm out and proud with my Drake hate. It's not even really hate. It's more just like I have justified issues with him. I've discussed many times on the show. So for this particular section of the retrospective episode, I've narrowed it down to two Conversations, Jersey Strong with Felicia George again. Shout out to Felicia George. That's the first time where I mentioned how I feel about Drake. I didn't go into great depth, but she asked me, she's like, everyone likes Drake. And I said, well, I don't. And that was basically the launch pad into me being, it was like my coming out of the closet moment with my Drake dislike. And then we have TV Talk with the cast of Reflections, and we discussed in the unpopular opinion section in great passion in depth, how much I don't like Drake, because luckily one of my guests in the show for that episode did not like Drake. So that is going to be what you're going to hear in the next couple of minutes. So enjoy. Sorry in advance if you don't like Drake. I'm going to just continue to talk about how much I don't like him. So sorry about that. I don't think no one should be making fun of Meek at all.
Right. I don't think he's a bad guy.
I don't think he's very make funnable.
Yeah.
It was funny when it happened like in 2015 when he failed with Drake. But at the same, okay. I don't know. This is definitely not an unpopular opinion. It's a fact. Mm. Meek is by far a better rapper than Drake. Is it an unpopular opinion?
I think they're two different. Like
they have a different kind of style.
Yeah.
Look at Wise grinning.
But I will say, if they were to face off right here, right now, Meek is
without a doubt.
Him.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. He's a better rapper.
I think.
Yes. Okay. Yes. He's a better rapper.
Okay. Because if it wasn't for the money and the notoriety that Drake has, he wouldn't have won.
Yeah.
He has the production team. He has the fan base. Meek has a big fan base too.
He does. He has a pretty big fan
base. But it's Drake.
Yeah. Drake, everyone loves Drake.
I don't.
I feel it.
I don't really like Drake like that.
You don't?
That's not my unpopular opinion, though, because I know a lot of people who are like, no, I'm not crazy about Drake.
I'm not crazy about him, but I appreciate him.
You know what I like? I like normal, corny Drake. I don't like when Drake tries to be this patois.
Yeah, I don't like that
he doesn't this set all these different personalities and stuff, and I'm like, nah, we know you're just corny Jimmy with the wheelchair.
Yeah, right.
Just be Jimmy.
Yeah.
I like when Drake is Drake.
I do too.
I don't like when he tries to be something he's
I don't
not.
listen to that. I don't listen to.
Yeah. How about you? What's your unpopular?
Since you brought it up earlier, I'm gonna rock with you, and I'm saying I don't rock with Drake.
Yeah. What? Thank you.
I don't understand, guys.
I'm so glad that I can breathe again.
Expound. Tell me.
Okay, here's
Inhale, exhale, let it out.
You go first because it's your own opinion, and then I will chime in.
I just don't rock with him. I've literally. I respect his talent. I'm not gonna deny what someone.
I'm surprised
can
you
do.
don't rock.
Channing, that's your cousin. Come on.
I know.
That's
he's
your
my
cousin.
far distant cousin. So yeah, I try to listen to his music. Literally every album he puts out, I listen to it fully, and I cringe.
For me, it's just a bunch of sad boy tunes.
Yes,
and everyone's like, oh, he's
and for me, I don't I listen to him and it's he's a sucker.
But
He's
you
a
know
punk.
the audience he's gotten an
Millennials.
audience.
Yeah, no,
Millennials
he does
that
his
will
thing. He makes hits.
Give him the money that he is going. That's the thing.
Exactly.
He's good at making hits. A couple weeks ago, I low key mentioned that I wasn't a fan of a musician, and after the show ended, I expounded on it with the audience that was here, and the guy was mad at me. He was yelling in my face, basically
What?
how could you say that? He's top 3: Kendrick, J. Cole, and Drake, and I'm like, okay, then you're getting crazy
Jay-Z,
now.
Nas,
You're
Lord.
getting
Pac,
crazy
Biggie?
now.
Top 3 or what?
I guess top 3 of right now,
Oh, right now. Okay.
Kendrick.
Cole.
and not Drake.
I want to say Drake. And what is Drake? Is he a rapper? Is he a singer?
That's what I
'Cause I'm
wanna know.
He's not one of the best rappers right now.
Because
in
he's
my
not
opinion.
a rapper. He's a singer. He's an actor who sometimes spits. He does. For me, you know what it is? For me, it's because he doesn't write his own music.
He doesn't?
And it's clear that he doesn't.
The ghostwriters.
He is ghostwriter. He doesn't freestyle.
That
I just
Party
think he's
Next Door
such
guy, I
a
think,
punk,
wrote
and
for
he's
him too.
soft, and
Yeah, he's super
he's
soft.
fake. I find him fake to me
Why do you think he's fake?
because it's not. This is not him. He's like, oh yeah.
Started
I
from
got
the
my
bottom, now I'm
shooter.
here. I'm what
he
bottom?
Never was at
grew
the
up-
bottom.
He grew up with
in
a
the
big ass
suburbs
swimming
of
pool in his
Toronto.
backyard.
He made money since
What's
the
your
time he was
bottom?
14. There is no bottom for
There is-
him.
yeah, I'm like, what
He's
is
trying
your
to
bottom?
He's trying to like.
What does that mean for you?
Yo, he grew up rough in Canada, y'all,
Get outta
in his
here.
Jewish
Grew up in the
family.
suburbs. He lived in a
Okay,
cul-de-sac.
he grew up
He lived
rough
in
in
a
that
cul-de-sac.
cul-de-sac.
He grew up.
Yeah.
He is such a phony
but
to
he
me.
lived in, like, the
he's just a big old corn.
He lived in the basement, y'all.
He lived in the basement of his mom's mansion
Exactly. To me, he's just
of the guest house.
he's just an actor with an
guest house
okay
bigger than my
flow
house.
who was able to expound on that okay flow and that charming personality, and now look at him. That's what it is. He's just an actor.
That's his bottom.
He's
But
just
you
an
know what?
actor.
I
That's
give
his
it up to
bottom. Now
him.
he's
Isn't
here.
he like donating millions
He
of
just
dollars
gave
every
away all that
day?
money
Florida,
to
yeah, he gave
Yeah,
away
good for
a
him.
million
That's
dollars.
cute,
you
whatever.
know.
But at the same time,
like,
I'm like,
She's not impressed.
No.
I'm not impressed by him in the slightest.
Jersey.
Like when I hear,
Jersey.
when I
Fake
hear,
love. Fake love.
Drake.
when I hear Kendrick.
Oh.
I feel
Oh,
something.
yes,
Yeah,
When
he
I
ignites
hear
my
J.
soul.
Cole
He's
tell
authentic.
a story,
Yeah.
I feel
Authentic,
something.
yes.
Drake is so inauthentic to me, it makes me sick.
Yeah, I don't
and when
feel
people,
nothing.
and when people are like, he's just like he's so good. Yeah, he's good at making money, but he's not good at rapping.
Do you like
half the
Kanye?
stuff-
Kanye West is like the reason I'm alive.
Yo.
I started listening to Kanye when I was 11, and ever since, I think that's why I'm so outspoken, because I listen to Kanye.
Kanye.
But do you like the new Kanye
No,
or that old
that's what I was about to
Kanye?
say.
I think that
Because
for
I love
me,
the old Kanye.
I fell off listening to
The
Kanye.
song about
I felt
Kanye made about Kanye.
that was good though. 'cause
love
that
Kanye.
was reminiscent
Like Kanye
of old
loves
Kanye.
Kanye.
Yep, that was reminiscent. But
I think when he got with
after-
Kim.
Yep. Now the third segment of the show, we talked about in great depth a couple times on the show, problematic men. There's tons of problematic men in this world, and it is not my duty to talk about them, but it is important to discuss the issues that these men have. So for this, we have 3 clips. One is from Thought Season. Shout out to Dooley again. We talked a bit about R. Kelly, my least favorite problematic man. Well, I mean, all problematic men are problematic, and I don't like them for their problems that they have. But R. Kelly, as you know, I wrote a whole big piece on it. He's just not. He needs to go. He needs to go away. And the second clip is from Kanye Mess, featuring Letty Deshawn, where we discuss, all of Kanye's Twitter issues from this past year. As you recall, they were just not. And it's really stressful with Kanye, because Kanye really is so talented, and it's hard to see someone who you respect so much as an artist and you respect their craft so much, to have them saying the things that they say and just spewing nonsense and not even thinking it through. And then the third clip is from 20 episodes later with our good friend Jameer Pond, where we talk about the issues with XXXTentacion, a very polarizing figure in life and in death. And I discussed a little bit in my unpopular opinion segment how I felt about that whole situation with his passing. So enjoy this section on problematic men.
I have my phone and I have IG Live. Like I can.
Then I'm going to do exactly what I want to do.
Yeah, we can just pray for them and make sure they stay out of trouble.
But we can't do that because it's going to keep happening.
Sadly,
But a young rapper who was at Coachella who doesn't stray anybody wrong is Vince Staples.
oh, I love Vince Staples.
He basically talked to Nadeska from Complex and was basically like, I'm never going to get in trouble for... I think he was talking about how his license was taken away because he speeds.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I won't go to jail for it because I'm a musician. Musicians don't go to jail. Look at R. Kelly. And then he went off on R. Kelly, saying that like he could never be invited to Coachella because he's gonna pee on everybody in the crowd, and he's a child molester, and there's no reason why he should still be out walking free.
Yeah.
Like Vince Staples went off. He
Wow.
did what we all have been saying,
Yeah.
and he said it. And Nadeska was like, "You're gonna get me in trouble," and I'm like, "Stop, girl, just let him speak."
Yeah. I mean, she didn't tell him like, yo, you know what you should do? You should wild out on R. Kelly right now. It's like,
Yeah,
you're not gonna
that's
get
just
in trouble.
that's
And
just Vince.
he just saying, I mean, it's at this point, yo, like R. Kelly's track sheet is just,
He's so gross.
yeah.
He's just constantly, and we talked about this in the last episode a little bit.
Mm.
He's basically like picking on, like preying on the girls that no one wants to defend.
yeah.
So that's why he's like gotten away with it all these years. Because had it been like a little white girl,
Yeah, that is true.
he would have been locked up long
nah,
ago.
Would not. hear any more Step in the Name of Love.
Long ago.
Yeah, it would be bad. But the thing is, it's so, I don't know, like, it's just like the story gets dropped and then it's just like it gets spread out. Everybody finds out about it and then
No one does anything about it.
we just keep it pushing.
Exactly. Like, that's why Bill Cosby was out here for as long as he was.
There,
Who else is? Oh, there's like Kevin Spacey. He was pretty bad.
yeah.
Then there's the director of X-Men. What is his name? I'm just bad with names. Bryan Singer. He's another one. Preys on
Wow.
young boys. And
Wow.
like no one has said
Nothing
anything
happens.
until now with all like the Me Too stuff. They're like, oh yeah, Bryan Singer's been doing this. And we're like, you can't
Yeah,
let this
that's
happen.
that's the worst part. Like, what do you mean? This has been
Singer,
happening
what?
for the longest of time. What?
Oh, we
Like,
knew.
Yeah, nah, that's
Oh my god. But yeah,
Very, very, very,
we
very
need more
weird.
outspoken rappers like Vince to keep
Yeah.
being outspoken and saying what we need people to say.
that is very,
So
very,
shout
very
out
true.
to Vince Staples. Figures that will be willing to let them, show vulnerability, because that's another problem. They don't know how to express themselves, so they're just
Exactly.
out here like thinking that people owe them something and the world owes them something, and
And no
it's
one
like
owes you
no one owes you a damn
absolutely
thing.
Grow up.
Mm-hmm.
Figure it out. It's life.
So moving on to our good friend Kanye.
Kanye.
So I've been a Kanye like fan, like very heavy fan. I wouldn't call myself a stan, but he was the first hip hop artist that I found on my own. I was like 11, and Gold Digger had just come out, and I'm like, oh, I like this. And then my brother, I believe, had the Late Registration album, and I'm like, ooh. So I like stuck it in our computer, listened to it, so my mom wouldn't like hear me playing it, and I was like hooked. I'm like, this guy is so smart with his words. The samples are obviously awesome. So, and he got me a lot of through a lot of like tough times. Like when my mom was diagnosed with cancer, it was around the same year that 808s came out. So I was like, oh, this
It's
I
like a
feel
perfect
it.
album, yeah.
Yeah, and then when she passed, I was like, I went back and revisited it, and just like it made me feel better in a way.
Yeah.
So he's gotten me through a lot of things. So it's disheartening to see him try to get attention in the way that he's getting it in such a
Disgusting way.
a toxic, dangerous way. Like I understand, like we know Kanye's a Gemini. He wants attention. It's just the facts of life. That's how they are, male or female.
Yeah, that's
no
right.
shade to you
100.
Geminis, but
That's just a
you
fact,
know,
guys.
you know
That
how
is
you
just a
be.
fact.
So, like, this is one way to get attention. I get it. I know what you're trying to do, using Twitter to just like be your outspoken self, but to alienate your entire base, like, what are you thinking?
Not only that, I just like what's the point of this?
It's not. There is
That's my
none.
thing. Like, what's the point of it? Like,
It's
you
just-
sitting here trying to tell us that we should ignore the fact that slavery happened 400 years ago. Why are you telling us that?
Oh my goodness gracious.
Like, what's your point?
And the thing that pissed me off about that whole thing today was how, although he was, pretty misled in his thought process in the Charlemagne interview for the most part was cohesive. So it's like, oh, okay.
Then
like
you go
he
on
sounds
TMZ.
comfortable. And then he goes on TMZ with all these white people, and then he's just Uncle Tomming.
And then you got the one black dude that had to like really check you.
And then he was like, "Oh my God, I'm
so sorry I
I'm sorry."
hurt you. Like, what do you mean?
That was basically like the equivalent of the camera flash and Get Out. He just needed a black man to be like, "What the hell are you doing?" And then he's like, his nose is bleeding, and he's out of it. He's out of it again.
I just feel like when I don't know the guy's name from TMZ, but the one black dude.
I think his name is I don't know.
But
It'll come to me.
I feel like he really spoke. I feel like he said everything that we wanted to say to him. Like how disheartening and disappointing that you are telling these things and not realizing that what you say have consequences, and you make people feel some type of way because of who you are and what you've done for us in these last 10 years. I feel like when you're rich and you sit here and talk about a black issue and you're black and you talk about all these certain things, it's like, just like he said, like, you're a rich black man. Like, you don't live what we live every day. You don't live in a hood
He's
anymore.
completely
Your ass is in
different.
Calabasas. You made it very clear in your Charlamagne interview that you're making a community in Calabasas, and you're from Chicago, one of the most dangerous cities in America.
And Calabasas is not a dangerous city.
Not at all. You are a gated community, if anything, and you guys are beyond upper class.
The champagne life.
Yeah, like, that's what that is.
North
Everybody
and Saint will not live that life.
So exactly. So you sitting here talking about, yeah, you can sit here and tell your kids to ignore slavery. Why? Because they would never really feel and understand what that came from because of how they're gonna be raised. You can't sit here and tell me that when my grandmother is 89 and she's still alive. I'm sorry. I feel like you sound fucking stupid.
He does sound
Like that.
dumb.
Like, you can't tell me that when my grandmother can sit here and tell me stories and she's grown up in the South and I've sat there and listened to her talk and you're gonna tell me to forget it. I don't think that's fair.
Like
for you to say that to me.
The blatant groveling for like white approval that he does when he, like, you hear it, he changes his voice. It sounds stupid. I'm just tired of it. Here's my unpopular opinion.
Here we
and
go.
I've been feeling it for about a week now.
Here we go.
Just because someone appears to have tried to change their life in a positive way, it doesn't absolve or counteract the wrongdoing that they are known for.
That's an absolute fact.
This whole XXX Tentacion thing is his death is as murky as his life was. It's polarizing just
I hope
as his
you wrote
life
that down.
was.
Hope that's part of your article that you want to write.
Oh, I'm about to write that.
That was bomb. That was bomb.
And there's also another thing. There's a difference between empathy and sympathy.
Yeah.
And I felt bad for his family, his friends, because he did die in a very abrupt manner. No one expected it.
No.
But the amount of sympathy
Yeah.
that he got, I was dumbfounded. Because I'm like, weren't you guys just talking about how shitty he was 2 weeks ago when that Miami New Times article came out? And now you're like, oh no, he was just so young. He had so much life to live. I'm like,
Yeah.
why don't you keep that same energy for his victims that he beat, his gay cellmate whose face he bashed into the wall for looking at him, the girl he got pregnant and abused, she had to get eye surgery.
Yeah.
You see, she was even she tried to go to his memorial or something, place things by flowers and
Somebody
stuff by
fought
his,
her,
and
right?
someone burned her flowers, and she bought like a globe. I guess they had like some sort of thing with globes, and they like threw the globe.
That's crazy.
She's like on Instagram crying hysterically because people are being still so abusive towards her.
Yeah.
Her Instagram comments were a disaster. You ruined his life. He wouldn't be dead if it wasn't for you. Like stuff like that.
That's not
has
true.
no correlation whatsoever.
That's not true.
But this is always happening with black men because we're always trying to protect even if they do something wrong.
Yeah.
And it's so sad that that same sort of sympathy couldn't be given to the people who he hurt.
I completely agree. I'm sad because it's a black life loss. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a black life loss. Like, here was somebody who had all the potential in the world, very talented, very gifted, and I'm a big personal energy. We've seen this happen with Biggie, Pac, a slew of other people. You invite energy or death to your door, death is eventually going to knock. You know what I'm saying? And he lived that kind of life where he knew he wasn't going to be around for a long time.
I think he knew too because he
think,
kept
yeah.
putting those videos out. He's like, "When I die,
When
And
I
I'm
die,
like,
yeah,
"Ooh."
he knew, and he was 20 years.
Yeah, it
20
is
years
sad
old.
when someone that young dies so abruptly.
And that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
but
go
the martyrdom, how everyone's making him
Yeah.
out to be some sort of martyr when we know the tea.
Yeah.
We've seen the pics.
Yep.
We read the deposition.
Yeah.
He had a lot of problems.
He did.
And we can't just sweep that under the rug. Oh my God, even on the BET Awards, they had like an in memoriam section. They put him in it at the very end.
Yeah.
And Jamie Foxx was like, we have to just stop the violence. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx, stop the violence when you're talking about extentation. Are you kidding me? Like, we're not gonna act like this. Like, I was watching it and I'm like, I looked like that gif of that white woman who was looking out the window who was like,
Oh yeah.
I felt just like that because like you cannot talk about ending violence when referencing someone who brought violence to his everyday life.
I completely agree.
I'm like mad thinking about
know,
it again.
hey.
I've never I haven't been able to like say it, but
No, but
because
that's-
I'm like
that's
for
good.
my thing is like, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all.
Mm-hmm.
So when everyone was talking about it on Twitter last week when it happened, I didn't tweet. I was like,
Yeah.
I have nothing to add to
I had
this.
nothing, yeah.
Like one of my friends was like, isn't that so sad? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I have nothing. I can't talk about this because
Yeah.
I have nothing positive to contribute. Like it's sad. He was young. He had I'm sure he had a great album. I don't know. I literally heard.
I'm sure he had a great
I'm sure he had a
album.
great album.
Critically
And
acclaimed
clearly,
is acclaimed.
he clearly touched people in a way that made them feel a certain way when he did die, and they're still feeling it today.
Yeah.
But we're not gonna act like he was some sort of angel on earth, some martyr. People already are doing the Tupac comparisons. Did you see
Which
that
is-
picture? It was like half his face and half Tupac's face. I literally wanted to spit.
And that's what I wanted to say. Like, unfortunately, like his fans will rewrite his history, just like they did Pac's. Like Pac was like no thug, like no gangster.
Now the last segment, it's a staple of every single episode. We love Beyonce here. We really appreciate all her gifts, her talents, everything she has to offer here, and all the clips that you're about to hear. One's from Talking It Out with Fuluke Tuakli. One is from Prideful with my pal Zach Aronson, and one is from Not My QB with Aisha Quinones. We all discussed how much she just fills our heart with joy, and we just appreciate everything she has to offer. And no retrospective, I cannot say that word, retrospective episode would be complete without a whole Beyonce appreciation segment. Of course, one on her birthday, two is what we do here at N Friends Podcast. So without further ado, enjoy the last segment of this retrospective episode discussing our Beyonce admiration. I remember when she announced that she was pregnant on the VMAs and I cried in my friend's basement.
I lost my entire mind.
Oh my God.
I wasn't ready.
Still
I was
an
like,
iconic moment because she opened up her jacket and I'm just like, damn. She threw her microphone on the floor and then she just starts rubbing her stomach and I bawl my eyes out. I have never been overcome with such emotion in my life.
Yes. I was like,
You would have
yo.
thought that my family member was pregnant.
But then she had the audacity to top that and then announce not one, but 2 kids in her womb. And I was just like,
She's so disrespectful.
mind you, when she announced the twins, I was on a flight back home. And it took everything in me to be like, oh my gosh, we have to have an emergency landing because I cannot deal right now. And like, thankfully, the plane had Wi-Fi that was working.
Oh, good.
And
'Cause
that's
you
how
know-
I saw the picture. And my friend was texting me like while I was on the flight. She was like, Aisha, did you see this? Beyonce's having to. I was like, I am trying to be calm because I am on a flight and you are not helping right now. And I was, oh my gosh, if you could just imagine. I was like, I need to hurry up and get home.
Anytime any of that kind of stuff happens, I just like I don't know how to act. Like I remember my sister had texted me when Beyonce was pregnant with the twins, and I'm just like, no, she's not, and she's like, go on Instagram, like in like all caps, and I'm like, oh my God, wow, she is pregnant. I can't, I really can't. Okay,
It was like, sis, it was just you on the
you
invitation.
were fine though,
Right, and-
alone.
I mean, but that's the thing I love about standing for Beyonce is I can stand for her in all different cycles of her life. I think for a good period of her career, people expected her to be perfect and to exist in one version of herself. And as she's gotten older, matured, and come into her own, she's much better at being unapologetic while also showcasing how multifaceted she is. And I love her for doing that. With somebody with her platform who can live in these different spaces, who can talk about the pain she's experienced while also celebrating not only her victory, but the victory of people around her. Like, that is a queen.
Amplify those voices.
That was like my cardio for the week.
That feels good.
Like exhausted.
I'm glad you got that out. It's just like, oh, that I love when Beyonce gets to that deep register.
That real deep.
I was listening to Bills the other day, and like at the very, like when they're doing the and you hear like and I'm like, Beyonce is hitting those low notes. Like, I love when she gets those nice deep notes. I love when she does that.
I love when she does everything.
Yes,
though, basically.
basically when she does.
I mean, Jaina did
anything.
mention that I am wearing a Beachella shirt, but I also have Beyonce's signature tattooed on my arm
Yes, he
as of a
does.
month ago. Like, I roll deep with the Beehive for life. Like, it is
When did you become a fan?
Writings on the Wall album.
Okay, good.
Really.
That's when I became a fan as
is
well.
when I was a little bit young to understand the difference between all of the girl groups at the time, and like my very first album was TLC Fan Mail. But if I'm really looking back, I think I thought that TLC was Destiny's Child. I mean, I was like 7 years old. I give myself a pass. But yeah, when by the time Writings on the Wall came around, and then Survivor and Independent Women.
I feel like for me, because I got my dad gave me Writings on the Wall. That was 2000 or 1999. I think it was 1999 when Writings on the Wall came out. So
I'm picturing when they were filming the Bootylicious video, and she's like, the album debuted at number 1.
Oh my God. So like I got Writings on the Wall, I think in 2nd grade. So I was 7. And then I got Survivor, that was in 3rd grade, and I was like, wow, growing up in a suburban New Jersey area, all we had was, all these other white girls. So I had like Beyonce, and I had Kelly, and I had Michelle, and I had all these girls. I'm like, oh my God, like they look like me, and they're pretty, and they're good at what they do. But then when Bootylicious came out, I'm telling you, like that changed my life. I'm like, Beyonce is my girl. Like Bootylicious, you could not tell me that Bootylicious was not about me. I was like, I am this is me.
You could not tell me that every single Destiny's
just
Child and Beyonce song
perfect.
is
Oh
about me
my
and written for
God.
me. But then it really went to another level when B-Day came out in 2007, and I was living out in California at the time, and that was the first Beyonce full-length album that I had.
Oh, I have.
My sister had the Writings on
I
the
am
Wall
Dangerously
CD.
in Love.
And I got Dangerously in Love later, girl, trust. Like, I did I went back and got the 8 Days of Christmas album.
And a diamond belly ring.
Every single bonus track, anything that has ever been released. I mean, maybe not so much like Girls Time necessarily.
Ooh, what's your favorite Beyonce deep cut?
Deep cut. That is a good question.
It could be like even like a feature, because my favorite like Beyonce deep cut is a feature. It was The Dream and Beyonce. I cannot remember the name of it right now, but it's like, people think I'm crazy, but I love you 'cause you crazy too. Ooh,
You're showing me up now. I'm not sure I recognize this song.
I'll play it.
How long ago is it from?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe like 2014, but 2 Chainz is in it too.
Oh, I must have heard this track.
Dun, dun, ratchet, sophisticated, ratchet.
Oh, yes. Okay. I recognize it now.
Ratchet. Oh my God, I love it.
I think is that the one that people thought that Azealia Banks was going to be on because she was saying that she had been recording a song called Ratchet with Beyonce.
I think so. I wouldn't be surprised, but she might have lied. So
Yeah. Who could trust anything she says?
For real.
So a deep cut. Worldwide Woman, off B-Day, the bonus tracks.
That is a good one.
Those are both. Oh, what about Welcome to Hollywood?
That's a good one too.
Yeah,
From
that's on B-Day too. On the bonus
on the
version.
bonus version. Man,
Hollywood.
perfect individual. I think my Beyonce mood of the day today is probably. It was how I felt when I woke up this morning.
I woke up like this.
It's not flawless. It's mission 1. I'm gonna put this on.
When they see me in a dress, I'ma give me some hate. Yep, that was
Because
bopping.
my dress is really tight today, and I was feeling myself. So Get Me Bodied, I think, is it.
I ain't worried to me tonight. A little sweat ain't never hurt nobody. Why standing on the wall? I'm the one tonight. Get them body, get them body, get them body. Now, have you ever watched the Rich Man's Frug scene from
Yes,
Sweet
Charity is one of my favorite musicals.
Is it? Oh my God, no
I
way.
love Bob Fosse.
But yeah, when you really see
It's
the
the
references,
exact
it's the exact same.
same.
But I have no problem with that.
Yes, it's a very
because she did
beautiful
her homework.
homage.
It's an incredible homage.
I interviewed Jaquel Knight a couple months ago, and I talked to him because, like, the one thing that I've always wanted to say to Jaquel Knight was I love his appreciation of Bob Fosse because it's evident in Single Ladies, because that's Mexican Breakfast,
Yes.
and there's got to be something better than this. And then Rich Man's Frug, I think he helped out a little bit with the Get Me Bodied video, and that's Rich Man's Frug. So I'm just like, thank you for loving Bob Fosse the way he needs to be appreciated and loved. And he was like, no one ever talks to me about Bob Fosse. This is awesome. I'm like, yes.
Yes, Bob Fosse
No.
is iconic, and I think
I
a
love
lot of people
Chicago.
don't.
I love Sweet Charity.
Yeah.
Oh God,
He
I could go on for days.
changed choreography, and he really changed.
All right, guys. So that's all for a very special episode of Anne Friends Podcast. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at JNA Jefferson, and of course follow the show on Instagram at Anne Friends Podcast. And don't forget to subscribe to the show on iTunes, the podcast app, and Google Play, where you can stay up to date on new episodes when they become available. And if you'd like to be a guest host on the show for the next however many episodes we have, oh my gosh, I cannot believe it's been a year. And 25 episodes. Like, it's just wild to me. But if you want to be a guest host on the show, hit me up at annfriendsguest@gmail.com, and we're going to keep in touch. Extreme thanks to you, the listeners, for listening for 4,000 listens, 25 episodes, 365 days. It's just, oh my gosh, it's just super, super awesome and cool to have this platform. There's a lot of cool stuff cooking up with me in my life that's coming up. I can't wait. You just got to keep in touch and stay updated on everything that's going on. But I want to thank you guys so much for listening. And here's to 4,000 more listens. Mazel tov. All right. See you guys next episode. Bye.